Hey, this is Thurop Van Orman doing the Boys podcast. I do the voice of Flapjack. Hey, Captain! Oh, Captain! And the voice of Lil Gideon on Gravity Falls. Um, well, Mabel, my little marshmallow.
Ooh, my first flapjacks?
With a dab of butter so it slides down easy.
Oh boy, those flapjacks look dumb like.
Stop! You can't eat flapjacks without maple syrup!
I didn't know! I can see what others can't see. It ain't some sideshow trick, it's an innate ability. Where others are blind, I am futurely inclined. And you too could see if you was whittle on me.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Voice Podcast. My guest today is a voice actor, director, storyboarder, creative consultant, producer, writer, and many more. The shows and movies he's worked on include being the director for the Angry Birds movie 2, storyboarder for the Powerpuff Girls, Camp Lazlo, SpongeBob, Flapjack, Sanjay and Craig, and many more. And you may have heard his voice as Flapjack in The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack, a show he also created, by the way, as Gideon in Gravity Falls, Todd in The Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and many more. So welcome, Mr. Thurop Van Orman. Welcome, Thurop.
Whew, thank you. Wow, you did your homework. Those are all the things.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so what have you been up to? Like, how are you doing, Thurop?
I'm good. I'm working at Sony right now. I'm writing and directing a movie. And I can't talk about it, but it's been really fun. It's an original movie. Yeah, it's been during the whole pandemic, so I've just been working from home in Ventura, where I get to go hiking with my dogs every morning instead of commuting, and I get to go rock climbing at night instead of commuting. So it's been delightful.
Nice. Yeah, I've been doing pretty good. Just putting out these podcast interviews. I like to do these to help spread positivity, help cheer people up.
Cool.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, now, what made you want to become a voice actor and director? And who would you say is your biggest inspiration for those professions?
I think that I wanted to become a voice actor because I have a weird voice and I wanted to do something with it. But it was very hard to get a job in voice acting. In fact, it was harder to get a job in voice acting than to get my own TV show and then cast myself as a character. So that's how I went about that. And as far as directing, my biggest inspiration, I think, for going to school for animation and everything, was Pixar. I had just stumbled into a job in animation, making video games in the late 1990s, I guess 1999, probably, 98, 99. And that's when Bugs Life came out, Toy Story came out, and it was so exciting. Not so much the 3D part, which still looked pretty terrible back then, but just the storytelling was so good that you could laugh and cry and be so involved in a animated movie and just create a whole world for people to dive into was so exciting for me that I sought out animation schools and went to CalArts to get into directing and writing movies. Finally got there 20 years later.
Nice. Yeah, I have too. Flapjack was a big part of my childhood. I would say it's one of my favorite childhood TV shows. Flapjack.
Oh, yay! Thank you.
Yeah, and CalArts, I think if I remember correctly, is that the same school that was with J.G. Quintel and Sam Marin, two regular show guys?
Yeah, that's where we all met. So a lot of I think almost everyone who worked on Flapjack first season was my buddy from CalArts, with a couple of exceptions, John Infantino and Ken Osborne, who I met on Camp Lazlo, but everyone else, I think, came from CalArts. And most of them I gave their first jobs to, because we were all all went to school together, all trying to get jobs at the same time.
I like that. It's really cool. The Cal Arts alumni. Nice. Okay. Now, if you could choose, what is your favorite voice acting role you've done? And if you don't mind, can you please do the voice of the character? What's your favorite?
Well, Flapjack is basically my voice, a little bit higher. Oh, Captain, Captain. And you know, I am Flapjack, so I love that voice. But doing Little Gideon was super fun because he was just like the polar opposite. He was like the bad guy with a southern accent, and I come from backwoods Florida, so it's really fun for me to do that. So Little Gideon is like, well, Mabel, my little marshmallow, I'm the king of all I survey.
That's so cool. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Can you do like the little old, like, you know, like I'm talking about, like how Gideon does that? Like,
Little old me.
oh, sorry, I'm freaking out. It's like, holy smoke. Oh my goodness. Thank you. That's really cool. Wow. Okay. Now, if you could choose like any role in any movie or TV show, is there a role you want to do that you haven't done yet? Like a superhero or like a time traveler? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is there a role you want to do?
Oh man, I would love to be a live action bad guy if I if I could be a live action bad guy, a little creepy man. That would be so fun. I just have to wait for Danny DeVito to die, and then I'll get all of his jobs.
You like the bad guy, like, you know, you have the beard, like, That's cool. Now, over the years of your career, do you still keep in touch with like other co-stars and directors and people on set that you've worked with? Do you still keep in touch?
Yeah, to some extent, we're all super busy. So, and I think we're all artists, so kind of reclusive. And I think all of us got good at art and doing what we do because we like to have a lot of time by ourselves to just daydream and get absorbed into our art or our writing or whatever we're working on. So I do keep in touch with everyone. I love them, but we're all also super busy, and once you get busy on a production too, you just don't see the light of day for a long time until your production's over.
Well, see, at least with like, you know, social media, at least that kind of helps too in a way. Social media.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I'm bad at social media also. I'm never on there.
now, if you could choose, who's the coolest person that you've worked with, would you say? Coolest.
Ooh, that's hard. I'm not gonna answer that actually. I'll make
Too
people
tough?
feel bad. I love all of them. They're all super cool.
Too tough. That's I like when people like are nice like to other people on set. Like that's why I also find it's cool. 'Cause, like when they're nice to you, you know what I mean? If they
Yeah, which almost everyone is. I mean, voice actor wise, everyone's super nice. Gray Delisle, who I think is probably the best voice actress. She's my favorite. She's like so nice to everyone and so personable. From the moment you met him, Tom Kenny, who does SpongeBob's voice, is amazing. And from the first storyboard I did on Powerpuff Girls, he remembered my name. He's like, "Oh, you're Thurop. I just read your board. I loved it." Like, and also voice actors never read the storyboards, like ever, except Tom Kenny. He's amazing. He's the best. But yeah, super personable. I think actually he was already like multimillionaire when I met him and was driving like I think a Honda Civic with no air conditioner that was like 25 years old. Super just down to earth, real super cool guy. But yeah, all of the voice actors I worked with were super delightful. Some more than others.
Nice. Yeah, I believe it or not, I actually had Tom Kenny on with his wife, Jill. Like they were.
Oh, that's so cool.
I had them both on.
That is so cool. Yeah, they're both delightful.
Yeah. Okay, now this might okay. What director would you say taught you the most? And is there a director you want to work with that you haven't worked with yet? Would you say?
Um. Ooh. I I think that most of the directors that I worked with on Flapjack, almost all of the storyboard team became directors or creators of their own shows, and I dare say for all of us that was like such a huge growth, to just be able to like work really passionate on something, and I'm not the kind of person who like dictates like this is how it's going to be, everyone do this thing. It was more like well, what do you think, or who usually we'd start like story sessions just talking about what was going on in our lives, and then we'd try to spin that into like if someone had a really good story, a really like heartfelt or funny or terrible story that happened to them over the weekend, then we were all like laughing at the storytelling, then we'd start figuring that out and beating it into like what that would look like as a Flapjack episode. And everyone was good at different things, and we all learned just a ton from each other, whether it was like drawings or like cue acting things. Like Kent Osborne and Penn were really great at just super simplified drawings, which changed how Flapjack looked. He got simpler and simpler, at least the way that I drew him. And Pat McHale always told really unique stories he created over the garden wall, and has such a, I don't know, spooky, magical, wonderful sensibility. JG always really funny, weird stories. John Infantino was super amazing. Cole Sanchez was super amazing. Benton Connor, Mike Roth, like everyone. Just some were more verbal than others. Did more writing. Some told stories more visually, and yeah, I just think like that for me was just such a huge growth spurt for me. And since I'm directing now, I don't really want to work with any directors as far as your question goes. No, that's not true, actually. I love directing with other people. I've been working, I don't think she's going to end up on this movie with me, but Jen Kluska is at Sony. She just finished directing Hotel Transylvania 4 that's about to come out. Super smart, super fun to work with. And she's just been helping me out in between projects over at Sony, and it's been delightful. Oh, I love working with. I'd love lots of other directors.
Nice. Okay, now like this might be tough. Like if you like didn't go into like voice acting, directing, or like writing, what do you think you would have done as a career? And what other interests and hobbies do you have besides that?
I would probably be homeless. I'm not really joking. These are my only skills. So if this wasn't a job, I would be in a lot of trouble. I actually still look at like really nice freeway underpasses that I could live underneath just in case things go south.
Well, I think you're like again, like you're very talented at directing, voicing, writing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now,
it's a good thing.
yeah. Now, do you like any like hobbies? Like, do you like to draw, or do you like to, I don't know, paint?
Yeah, I draw and paint. I draw less in my free time now. Now that I do that for a job. But I do paint quite a bit. I love making things that I can hold and use. So I do a lot of woodworking. I do a lot of blacksmithing. Yeah. Well, Was that the whole question? What do I like to do in my spare time?
Basically.
Yeah.
Now,
I like to do lots of things. I have a lot of ADHD, so I like to move from thing to thing and make a lot of stuff really fast. I get really hyper focused on making things, painting things, writing things.
you're very creative. Favorite band and type of music?
Ooh. I love traditional Irish music. I like fiddling and banjo and flutes. So I love the Pogues, and they're kind of cheesy, but the Irish Rovers I love. And then I also love Daniel Johnston, who made just some weird music in the 80s. He worked in a McDonald's and would just make tapes of his songs and pass them out way before the internet. And so I got a bunch of those and I just became obsessed. So I listen to Daniel Johnston all the time. They're very sweet, very unpolished songs. But there's one, The Story of an Artist, that makes me cry every single time. And it's so true growing up as an artist. So I'd look it up. It's a good one.
Okay, now do you like sports? Do you have like a favorite sport, would you say? And teams?
I rock climb, but team sports I do not like, and I cannot get into at all. I don't understand them.
All good. Okay, now do you have a favorite food, and why is it your favorite? Say?
I'm vegan, and I like protein, so I guess tofu with the most boring food is my favorite, I think.
Okay, now now that things are kind of getting back to normal, do you have like any projects in the works coming up?
Yeah, my project at Sony that I'm working on, and then also on the side I'm working on a couple of other things that I can't talk about. Sorry.
All good. What is your advice for younger people that want to go into like voice acting and directing? What's your advice?
I mean, I don't know that I have a lot of advice. I mean, I think if you're passionate about something, then go for it. And if you don't have the passion to put in while you're not getting paid, then you're definitely not going to have the passion to keep going on a project that, when it gets hard, when you are getting paid. I think that's probably one of the biggest aspects of being a director or a show creator. It gets really hard, and you have to keep like pushing through and being creative and being positive and keeping your crew happy and motivated. Yeah, even when it gets like really, really hard and you just want to stop and you want to put the brakes on, it just keeps moving. So you've got to be able to just persevere and put your all into something, even when it gets hard.
I like that. Now, is there anything you would like to promote and shout out that I'll link down below in the video's description? Anything?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm not really on social media. I would suggest everyone put down their devices and go on a hike or something. It's good for you.
Nice. Well, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you, and Thurop, for being an awesome and amazing guest. Thank you. Yeah. Have a great day, everybody. Yeah. Have a great day, everybody, and stay awesome. And you stay awesome, Thurop.
Awesome. You too. Thanks, Joe.